Hey everybody, this is your newsletter about travel questions. We're getting a ton of questions right now from people who want to know, is it safe to travel domestically because of the Real ID Act and everything that's happening? Let me answer your questions for you. The Real ID Act started on May 7th of this year, 2025. And this is a new law that says you have to have a special kind of ID in order to be able to travel internationally and domestically. So when you board a flight just between states, you have to show that you have a Real ID. And you know you have it if you look at your driver's license. There's going to be a little gold star in the top right corner of your driver's license. It's a special document that if you had your driver's license renewed within the last couple of years, you probably already have a Real ID. If you don't have one and you need to travel, go ahead and take care of that now. You do have to have legal status. You have to go into DPS or the DMV in whichever state you are. And there are heightened requirements for obtaining a Real ID document. So you have to bring original documents, your birth certificate, your passport if you have one, your social security document. All of your names have to be the same in every document, and try to pay attention to what you need to bring and bring it to the appointment, because if you've ever been in that situation where you go to the DPS and you're missing that one little thing and you have to leave and go back, it's a hassle. So that's the deal with Real ID, but in order to travel domestically on airlines, you do need one. If you show up for a domestic flight, you don't have a Real ID. Right now, TSA is doing like secondary inspection, but it's taking 4 or 5 hours and you'll probably miss your flight. So just not recommended to even mess around with that. You don't technically need a Real ID to travel in a car or a train or a Greyhound in between states. But I will also say, as everybody knows, this is a time of heightened immigration enforcement, and we are seeing ICE board buses and trains, and certainly more people are getting pulled over on the roads and having their documents checked. So my general advice is, if you are in legal status, you have legal status, get a Real ID document before you travel between states. If you are not yet in legal status, but you're in process, maybe you have something pending, I do not recommend that you travel domestically for vacations. If you want to go visit family, you really need to consider the risks. In many cases, people have emergencies. Maybe you have a sick relative, or it's worth it to you to take the risk to drive to the next state, and that we understand. What I would recommend you do is talk to your legal team and say, I'm undocumented and I'm traveling because it is an emergency, and I want to let you know, and we can sort of help you prepare and at least be on standby should you get detained. Think about what documents you might want to gather in case you get detained. But my general advice is, only travel between states if you already have a Real ID. If you're undocumented, try to avoid domestic travel right now. I hope this helps. If you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to just reach out to me on social media or respond to this email, and we'll be happy to keep answering these questions. Take care.